What's up, everyone? Welcome to IGN Arena, Episode 9. I'm your host, Leah B. Jackson, and today I'm joined by James Faulkner.
Yo.
And Kyle O'Connor.
What's up, guys?
What's up, everyone? So today, Mitch and Brian are unfortunately out, but we have these lovely two guests here with me. And we have an awesome show today planned for you guys. And I just wanted to kind of start the show off by saying thank you. Thank you for watching IGN Arena the last 9 or 8 episodes. We really appreciate your support, but this is actually going to be my last episode of IGN Arena.
The saddest news.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm calling GG on the arenas and the IGNs. No, I'm not. I had an amazing time here. I'm moving somewhere really cool. I can't say where yet, but hopefully you guys will follow me along on the next adventure. And I really loved working with IGN Arena and, building this up into something really cool and special.
What's your Twitter handle so people, if they don't follow you, can follow you?
Yes. So if you want to, my Twitter handle is @Leah B. Jackson. Pretty easy to remember. It's just my name. So yeah, you can do that. I love talking to my followers, and they ask me MOBA tips for MOBA tips a lot, and I love reaching out to them and stuff like that. So yeah, please follow me if you don't, and let's get on with it.
But to be clear, this isn't the last episode of IGN Arena.
That's right.
We will be back after Gamescom. A lot of people are out next week.
Week after next, right?
Yes.
That's right.
We will
Indeed.
be back.
Indeed. So yes, IGN Arena isn't going away. That's something that is been a little bit, people have been a little bit confused about. I'm leaving, but IGN Arena is still here. Brian, Mitch, and James are going to be picking up the mantle, the torch, whatever it is, and carrying on.
Onto the Lord's pitch.
Yes. Aw. It's sad.
Keeping
I'm sad.
the legacy alive.
That's right. Okay, let's keep moving before we all start having sads.
Yeah,
the feels.
Different type of show today. I think we're gonna go news and viewer questions.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So instead of having 4 topics like we normally do, we're gonna do a little bit of news, and then you guys write us in awesome questions each week at arenapodcast@ign.com. Or you leave questions on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/IGNarena, which you should subscribe to still. Yes. And we've compiled a bunch of questions since it's episode 9. I got 9 questions. And we're just going to go through them. Thank you for sending them in. Keep sending them in, because we'll hopefully be able to do something like this again soon, or just add your questions in to future episodes. All right. So let's move on to some news. I am so freaking excited about this news.
The text messages that I got from you when it was announced, we were like, "Have you seen him?" and then the follow-up was, "Have you heard him?"
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we should have brought his voice pack in. You should maybe pull that up while I bring this up. Sure. Okay, so we're talking about Gnar, the new League of Legends champion.
So
we haven't had a IGN Arena episode since Gnar was revealed a few weeks ago, unfortunately. So here's our chance to talk about Gnar, the most adorable freaking League of Legends champion who has come along in a long while. So Kyle, you are the League of Legends man. Tell us about Gnar.
I'm so pumped for Gnar. He's a top lane character, which I love all roles, but top lane is one of the ones really close to my heart. He's got so many little tricks. He's a transformation character, first of all, like Nidalee or Nidalee, however you pronounce it, and Jace and things like that.
Yeah.
And he works on like a rage system, similar to a warrior from WoW, or I know Tryndamere has rage. Yeah. But he's just got so many awesome moves. He's got like a bounce, almost like Fizz, where it's just gonna be so cool.
So he can let's pretend that this Coffee is a champion.
Yeah.
He can hop onto them, and he can hop around.
Yeah.
And then if he hops on the champion, he bounces forward again.
Anything targetable. So that also includes wards, minions, Shaco boxes. So
this is what I'm excited about, at least for League, is they're going towards that really, really fast. They're focusing on movement and
and positioning.
Any new character, for the most part, has either displacement or they have something they're able to jump.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Yasuo has his dash, things like that. Yeah, just Gnar is going to be so awesome. His passive, when he hits the 100 rage mark, he turns into Mega Gnar, and then he has a whole new set of moves. And his moves are awesome. He's going to have his ultimate is his ultimate. I got to remember to talk into the mic.
That's right.
His ultimate. will move everyone in an AoE radius around him, and if they hit a wall or a building, will stun him, all of them. So technically, you could hop, land right in the middle of the whole team, and then use your ultimate and just stun them all against the wall. It's just gonna be so cool.
Yeah, he's a really interesting like hybrid of I want to say Tony, but Tiny, of where like that toss is gonna be so much fun. It's again, displacement is one of my favorite things in MOBAs, just because it's like rather than just it's a steroid for an ability. It's a straight up like, no, I'm gonna do something to you, and you're gonna move and not be able to do anything about it.
And I like how, you know, regarding like the boulder toss, if he throws it, you can go and pick it up again and then keep
like
using it. That's cool. I like that.
Good. It's the same with his boomerang throw. It's kind of like Sivers, where you know, it'll go out and slowly slow down and then come back, but he has to actually go and catch it.
Yeah,
way back
there's
in.
a little more skill involved.
Yeah, but it's gonna be so good. So good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to keep talking about Nar, but first you have to listen to Nar, because even though he sounds awesome, like his literal voice is the best.
He's an ancient.
Yeah, I'll play a little bit from his actual form, and then Mega Nar, I'll play a little bit from the end.
Okay.
So good.
So that's Mini Nar.
Yeah, and then.
Okay, now here is Mega Nar.
It just sounds like a terrifying demon.
It'll be so good.
Although still adorable.
Oh, adorable. Oh my gosh, you have to see pictures of Nar. He's so cute. And Riot also revealed the Dino skin, Dino Nar.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, he's so cute. He's like wearing dinosaur pajamas.
That's
holy
crap.
And like his bee, when he teleports back, when he's Mega Nar, he has this helicopter and he just beats it against the ground. It's so cute, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love Nar.
I'm pumped for him.
It sounds like we're really excited for him. Do you think that he's going to be compatible in the pro scene in LCS?
Yeah, I think there's going to be someone who's just going to be absolutely, because he seems like he's got a high skill cap, and usually with characters like that, like Yasuo and things like that, someone somewhere is just going to abuse that.
Yeah, I maybe not one of like the standard like top 20, but I definitely think it will fit into someone's team comp somewhere. And like we saw Yasuo mid for a little while.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's still mid.
He's still mid. Yeah, he's really good mid. Yeah, I think someone, and you could also build team comps around his whole meta game with that, so it's gonna be really good.
One thing I was reading about is that he seems good, like your guys were saying, but he's a little bit unreliable as to when he's going to transform and when, you know, you'll be able to use certain moves at certain times. So in that sense, he might not be the best pro character, because because of that unreliable transformation, you have to build it up, and then, you know, you have to use the moves accordingly when he's certain forms and that type of stuff. And you can only use his ultimate when he's in Mega Nar form. Yeah. So that type of thing.
I feel like for any character, like Chaos Knight in Dota, like you can't rely on RNG.
Yeah.
Like RNG is like the bane of like you want to make sure that if I'm going to do something, I'm not going to get screwed over by RNG.
Yeah.
Or RNG is random number. Random number generator. It's semi-random for most stuff.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Mace stuns back in, I don't know if you guys ever played WoW, but in
Yeah.
the old arena days,
That's
when
what I was thinking
the Mace
of,
stuns
too.
RNG, you're like, when it goes off, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it works for you. When it doesn't, you hate your life.
Yep.
Yeah, when like
Good old RNG.
Yeah.
I played a game against a Chaos Knight a couple nights ago who got like 3. So he does
Crit strikes or whatever.
Like 300% crit strikes in a row. And the thing is, he duplicates, so like they're all getting crit strikes as well. So
Oh my god.
he's not fun to play against. He's a really good character, but like it was the thing where we let him get too big and then he destroyed us all.
Yes.
That's terrible.
That's what's going to happen with Nar. He's going to get too big and destroy us all.
It's just going to be so good. I have a slight inclination to think he's going to turn into a jungle as well, just with the hops, because hopping over those little barriers is going to make jungling with him really quick.
I'm excited to see the sort of like weird routes people will take with him too with the hop. I bet people will do some fun things with hop and post some really funny videos about that soon enough. So I'm excited for Nar. I was super thrilled when they revealed him, and because the reveal was kind of like he looked like he was gonna be like creepy and scary, and he was like in a cave, and I didn't know what it was gonna be, and then turns out he's just the most adorable
ancient Yordle ever.
Oh my gosh,
his little backstory's all sad.
I feel like one thing I wanted to mention when you were showing off the voices was that it sounds like he's a sim. Like he's speaking Simlish to me. Yeah, I really like him. Okay, so good old Nar.
Yes, and then speaking of our other league topic is they got announced the preliminary dates for the World Finals, which this year are taking place in Taipei, Singapore, and then Busan, Korea, and then Seoul for the
Grand Finals.
For the Grand Finals. But it takes place over a couple weeks, and then in terms of time zone, I'm sorry, North American viewers, it's going to be really early. So it starts at...
How committed are you?
That's
Are you
right.
going to wake up at 1 in the morning?
Yeah, for the Taipei stages, it starts at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
most of the times are like 11 p.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be real late if you're watching it from here. But
I mean, that's the times that people have to stay up if they want to watch Korean League of Legends now, but it's punishing if you want to stay up that late. And I feel like that's a huge shame for people in North America because obviously the Koreans are going to want to see it in, prime time for them.
And it's actually a really good time for Europe, too.
Oh, really?
I think it's in the evening for them.
Man.
It's like early evening, which is actually, so again, we had it here in Los Angeles
true.
last year. Like, we had the best time last year.
Yeah.
So I'm totally okay with, like, do it like the World Cup. Like,
rotate it.
It's gonna suck for a year, but then it will go someplace else.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. What do you think of the finals being in Seoul, though?
I'm really excited. Like, I'm excited that they're doing different locations, because last year they did it at USC for a couple days, at their studio for a couple days, and and different order actually, and then they went to the Staples Center for the finals. I'm excited they're doing it in different countries because then it enables people from different like to see their teams like before they get knocked out, and then of course I'm assuming like SKT1 or someone will make it to the finals and it'll be in Seoul so all their fans can see them.
I can see that too. I mean, for me, as much as I'm rooting for the North American teams and the European teams, I feel like the Korean teams are just a little bit, higher skill. And I feel like that will be very exciting to see the Koreans on their home turf where League of Legends is the hugest game ever right now
so revered
in Korea.
over there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that will be really special to have the finals there. But I don't know. I'm still like, dang it. I want to be like up and awake and like, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed to watch it. But I think I'm just going to be like,
the other like league thing, at least with Korea, is CLG.
Oh yes.
Subbed out their entire roster.
Yes.
So they were playing all with subs for Super Week last week, and they sent the rest of their roster is in Korea training. Because at this point, they're guaranteed, I think, to get into playoffs.
So they're training in Korea. Wow.
Yeah. So they went like a week early because they're like, we're fine. We can lose these games and we'll be fine.
And they did. They lost. All the subs went 0-4 this week.
But it was so good seeing like them just pulling in like these people who were like, oh, this person now plays for CLG for this week. But it was like Chaos was on CLG for a week.
Oh, it was so fun. I mean, it was definitely like a treat for fans, I feel like. But at the same time, I think it's super duper smart of CLG to do this because they knew they had secured a playoff spot and they needed something. Yeah. They needed something to do something in order to kind of bolster themselves and get ready for these playoffs because it's a big deal. Yeah. At PAX in a few weeks and it sounds like Riot was okay with it, and now they're in Korea training with Monte Cristo, and I think it will be really beneficial for the team. They're going to be boot camping and playing all the time and playing with and against the best people in the world. It was a smart decision.
They're already going to be used to the time zone difference. They're not going to be all out of
Well, they have to come back. But I feel like they'll come back with a few, in time to... be okay with the jet lag and everything like that.
And Riot's very, very smart about, like, especially if you look at the schedule, they built in time for everyone to get adjusted to each time zone rather than like, hey, you're going to show up and you're going to be jet lagged and it's going to suck.
Which is super smart because considering they're having it in so many different places and time zones and stuff like that. So, that can definitely have an effect on you when you're playing. Travel is exhausting. No matter who you are. And you want to be playing your best when you're playing for millions of dollars in front of, hundreds of thousands of people.
So much money. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
All right.
Next
up, what's up next?
What's up next? Okay, so the next up, we're going to switch over from League and talk a little bit about Dota, and then we're going to go on to your questions. So the coolest Dota news this week, I thought, was how the Dota 2 workshop tools alpha is now up on Steam, which means that custom games are coming to Dota 2 really soon, and players are going to be able to create them.
So good.
So yeah, I since I never played Warcraft 3 or Dota 1, I never really got that experience.
Right.
But I've heard about Pudge Wars.
Yes.
And that's the one that I think, like, besides Dota and that being the main, but Pudge Wars is like the thing that.
So Pudge Wars, for those who are unaware, is when instead of having 5 versus 5 different heroes, it's 10 Pudges. 5 versus 5 Pudge. And I'm not sure if it's going to be all mid. I mean, people can create whatever Pudge, however type of Pudge Wars they want. But in that one, it was the hook. Pudge's hook like goes super far and it one-shots you. So if you get hooked, you're dead.
Oh, that sounds so good.
And it's like, you try to get 10 points and whoever gets 10 points first wins or something like that. So that's how I remember playing it, at least. And it's super fun, but that's definitely going to be one. I'm sure.
I feel like the tools, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, like, hey, it's the one mode, but I still feel like, hey, yeah, people want to explore and do different things with the tools and be able to be like, I don't know, like, everyone plays Tinker.
Yeah.
And it's just like everyone's trying to hunt down each other as Tinker. Like just create a weird map that like facilitates like vision and like ducking out and like cat and mouse games, and that's the entire thing. I think that'd be really fun. But like,
you can create
that. Yeah, I could do that if I wanted to.
And that's neat. I really love that Valve is, once again, letting the players do whatever the hell they want, and you create these things, and we will support you and give you the tools to do so.
Oh, yeah.
And I imagine that it'll be similar to how items work on the workshop right now, where people can vote up the maps that they like and dislike, and then the ones that are voted up the best will get put into the game. I have no idea if that's how it's actually going to work. That's a complete guess, but based on the way the other things have gone in the workshop, I would imagine it would be something like that.
I don't think you can ever go wrong with giving like the community the tools to create things. Like, it's worked well in a whole bunch of other games. Like WoW, you had the open UI where you could make a whole bunch of mods, and so many of those mods ended up incorporated into the game itself.
Right.
It's a great way to get the really passionate and driven people in your community who are very talented to create stuff for you for free. Right, exactly. And it's good.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I'm hoping that there's a little curation, because like there have been problems on Steam lately of like the green light process of where it's just like everything's getting pushed off the front page. So like promotion is super important. I'm hoping that there's a little bit of curation. Yeah. Maybe they hire someone from the community or give it to the community to be like I don't know, maybe an algorithm or something. But there needs to be some curation and being like, hey,
these are the good ones.
These are the good ones. Check this out, and then the community will discover the rest.
Yeah,
and
like
push
a spotlight or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it just sounds like it's going to be awesome. I don't play much Dota 2, but it just sounds like nothing but good things can come from it.
Right. I mean, as you were saying, it's like one map can get stale. I mean, everyone will always play the classic Dota map. Yeah. Like, we love it, whatever. But what I feel like is that after a game of Dota 2, even if I win or lose, I'm just exhausted some of the time, and I want to go play something like ARAM or Dominion, and Dota doesn't have anything like that. So if someone can just create something fun where you can just kind of go mess around for a little bit, that's great. And I think it will totally be awesome.
What if we made League in Dota?
Oh, that
would break me.
that was deception.
But the craziest thing is you leave the how the turn speed for all the characters. I want to see how that changes.
Oh my gosh!
I think just like changing small variables, convert all the characters from Dota back over to League. Yeah. Or like, you know what I mean?
Mechanics of the
But like just leave small things in there just to mess with it and just to see what it would be like. I think that's like fascinating.
That would be really fun.
There's gonna be so many things created that we can't even like contemplate. Like, I bet you there's gonna be some guy who's gonna make some obscure mode that's gonna be fantastic.
That's gonna be Dota 3.
Yeah, I was just going to say the next thing, because Dota was originally a mod that someone created. So I mean, Dota 3 could be born out of these tools.
Valve knows what they're doing.
And then another company will come in.
That's right.
And then make a remake of that game, and then that will have mod tools, and that will be Dota 4.
Oh yeah, this cycle continues. Yeah. It's a good cycle. It's fun. Okay, well, now we're going to get into your 9 questions, because they're great questions.
Yeah, they're
Again, awesome. If you have questions that you want to send in to us, you can do so by sending an email to arenapodcast@ign.com or by leaving a message on our YouTube at youtube.com/IGN Arena. And now let's get to it. I'm going to read the questions, and we'll all just go through them. We won't take too long on each question because we have a lot to go through. So we'll kind of give one sort of quick answer, and then some, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Some are so good, I can't guarantee I'm not going to go off on a tangent. These
well,
really
we
good.
have no rules here at IGN Arena.
Oh, yeah,
it's my last
awesome.
show. We can do whatever the heck we
Flip
want
the
to.
table.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here's a question from Matthew. Starting us off strong with a Wii U question, Matthew. Okay. Would the Wii U benefit from having its own MOBA? I personally think it would be a ton of fun having Smash Brothers character selection in the game. Do you think this would be a good game for the Wii U, or am I just dreaming up a game that would ruin the console?
I think it could translate really well. That's just me.
I think the problem is that yes, it translates super well.
Yeah.
Who's gonna make it? Nintendo will
never make it.
Never license out their characters. Like
ever.
I talked about this with another editor here, Jose Otero, over dinner one night, and we're talking about. I was like, what if I want him to ask like Miyamoto about MOBAs?
Yeah.
Because
Miyamoto?
Miyamoto. Well, okay, so that's the thing now. But ask him about it because like they created. I would have never thought before Smashy. Okay, they would never made a fighting game.
Right.
If you told me Sonic and Mario could be fighting someone like a couple years ago, I would never have guessed that.
But then to introduce like League never has Nintendo had never had like a very like complex like mechanically driven like yes Smash can be but they've never had like an actual like super mechanics heavy like super deep systems game.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. I don't think it would ever happen. But I think the translation to a Wii U would work pretty well. I mean, you could put the mini-map on the little screen, and then you could ping it by touch screen. You could do, like the League of Legends, like, ping it, pull right, and that means I'm on my way, or whatever. I think that could work really well. And then,
That's really smart.
Yeah, it could work really well. And it's not like a console MOBA's never happened. They had the Lord of the Rings one on the Xbox.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, because you can do, like, it's an action MOBA.
Yeah.
I think that's even though it's kind of repetitive in terms of action MOBA.
Name, yeah.
But
it could go really well. And then, seeing all the Smash Bros. Characters translated into their tool set put onto, a MOBA framework would be really good, because it would be kind of like a Infinite Crisis. It would be like seeing all the DC characters, but have their moves all be mapped to MOBA style. That'd be so good.
I think it could work too. I really love your idea with the mini map and the ping on the touchscreen thing. That was really smart.
I would like to seeing Nintendo try to make a MOBA would be incredibly fascinating.
I feel if they tried, they would knock it out of the park, because they're pretty consistent with their stuff for like their first party stuff.
And we also have talked about like a Pokemon MOBA, MOBA a million times.
Oh, Pokemon Pokemon MMO. Oh my God! If that, and MOBAs and MMOs, I would just be so excited.
I know. Anytime we mention it, people around here get so excited about it. Like it could totally work.
Pokemon.
Yeah, it's always execution would be king.
Yeah.
It's something that is completely out of their wheelhouse at that point. Yeah. But it's very fun to think about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you for the question, Matthew. All right, now we're gonna go on to our next question from Adam. I wanted to ask about terminology and things that most new players don't know, because people say stuff and I have no idea what they're talking about on YouTube and even the podcast sometimes. I know Mitch mentioned a book on the internet for Dota 2, The Purge or something. I had to put that in because I thought it was really funny. Yeah. It's not a book. Purge is a player. He's an actual person, and he wrote a guide that's called Welcome to Dota 2, You Suck. So his name is Purge, and you can look up his guide.
Yes.
Okay.
But that guide actually, besides the general like very specific Dota 2 knowledge, it's also very just a good read
for
any MOBA.
Yes.
It talks about vision and and
terminology and
last hitting and all these different things, and that can be applied to pretty much anything you play.
Yes.
It's very, very, very smart.
Indeed. So Adam, check out the guide by Purge, Welcome to Dota 2, You Suck. And then his actual question is there an effective way of learning this stuff, or should I and newer players just look around and find everything we can?
Forums are your best friends.
The subreddits for Dota 2 and League of Legends are fantastic.
Yes.
Absolutely. They have a bunch of like new player guides on there.
So if you're not familiar with what a subreddit is, because that might be another term that people don't know, if you go to reddit.com, each section of Reddit is a subreddit, and so there's a different section for Dota 2, and there's a different section for League of Legends, and every other MOBA out there has its own dedicated subreddit. So it's usually reddit.com/r/League of Legends or /r/Dota 2 or /r, you know, whatever you want. Exactly. And totally though. They have such a wealth of information. You can search and find, you know, years worth of
can
information.
Even ask questions.
Yes, people are pretty nice on the subreddits, I feel like.
Yeah. There is they call it a Monday mega thread where it's dumb questions, and you can go in there and ask dumb questions, and people are in there and they will tell you the answer. Like it's a like no judge, like, hey, I want to know. It's like it's people who are experienced who are like, I'm not sure about this one thing, and they ask about it, and then there's a large discussion about it.
Yeah.
Or it could be like, hey, I need to figure out what all these terms mean, and just list them, and people will totally are super, super nice.
Yeah, and they've been doing that, and that's on the League subreddit.
Yes.
They've been doing these Monday mega threads for a really long time, and there are links back to the old mega threads in each mega thread.
That's
so
good.
you can go through them and find out, you know, all these things and find the terminology that you're looking for. Or like you were saying, I think forums are a really good idea too.
I spend so much time on all the different forums.
Yeah, again, half of the fun about learning about MOBAs is also learning about it. So it is the reading and discovering and watching videos,
like the application of what you've learned too.
And it's also like, the more that you watch, like there's some things that people bring up, and I'm like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Like a quap or a potom, which are two Dota characters. Yeah. But it's just like abbreviations that are Furion.
Yep.
Like Furion is a character, but it's his old name.
Yes. So Furion is Nature's Prophet in Dota 2, but his name in Dota 1 was Furion, the Nature's Prophet. I'm sure his name is still Furion, but people call him Furion still.
Yeah.
So that can confuse people. And like in League, people will say WW instead of Warwick and like that type of stuff. So
J4 for Jarvan.
For Jarvan, exactly. So I mean, there's all those types of things. I think the Mega Thread was a really good suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'm not sure if Dota Reddit has that.
They have things similar. They're more like they do more like per item.
Yes.
Like they do like, hey, we're gonna talk about this character today, and that's the sticky thread for the day, or we're gonna talk about this item for the day.
Yeah.
There are probably links in the side, like if there's a sidebar that should have like a bunch of like, hey, you're new. Here's things to check out. They also have League of Summoners is another really great subreddit.
Oh, cool.
That is like, hey, I want to either learn or I want to teach, and you go there and they can pair people up there.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
So if you want to learn about how to play a champion, or just have questions like, play a game with me and just explain what's red buff, what's blue buff, what's the dragon timers.
Adopt a noob like StarCraft 2. Yeah,
yes.
I'll adopt a noob.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is from Matt. Matt asks, I recently become obsessed with Dota. I have some friends teaching me, and I'm learning a lot, but sometimes I have to play without them, and at my level, the pub matches are pretty horrible. No one really coordinates, people just farm the whole time, and there are a lot of disconnects. So what advice do you have for getting the most out of a pub match and trying to get better when no one on the team seems to be on board?
For me, my biggest tip would be help in a way that gives the rest of your team as much information as possible. So for me, that means vision, wards, pinging. Don't rage. It's so hard not to rage because you invest so much time in games. But like, don't rage; it'll never help. And understand sometimes it's just people have bad games.
Perfect example. We played the other night, and I had played a Tristana game right before. And I was like, okay, I'm very bad at attack damage carries.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna try to learn Tristana because she's kind of powerful in the meta right now.
Yeah.
And I had the worst game. Like I was playing against a weird lane. I was playing against an Ahri and a Vengar.
That's weird.
Bottom lane?
Bottom lane.
That's weird.
That is weird.
But they had a ton of CC
and burst.
And early in the game, Tristana has a low range, so they could abuse that really, really badly. And I just had the worst game. But you just gotta understand, like,
it happens.
I'm the guy having the bad game.
Yeah.
I felt awful.
Yeah.
And everyone was angry at me, but you can't rage back.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like I had a couple games like this. I was playing with a friend, and it's just like sometimes people that are really good end up being backseat gamers. You ever have that experience where it's like, oh well, you should have done this in this situation. Well, obviously I didn't, and I didn't know that. Like, tell me, but don't be rude about it.
Yeah.
If you can help, be knowledgeable, and be nice about it, everyone's going to benefit in that situation. And
I feel like that should just be like always do those three things, and everyone's life will be better no matter what.
There's just so many variables. Like the person you're playing with could be playing a character for the first time. They could be playing a role for the first time. Like, it's in the end of the game. And in the end of the day, you need to remember you're playing a video game for the fun of playing the video game. Like, it's I don't know. It's understandable why people rage and just be so horrible because of the time commitment you're putting into it, and that it's a 5v5 team game, and a poor performance affects everyone else on the team. But just try not to do it. Yeah, I'm guilty of it. I've raged before and just got so angry. But it's just, if you can avoid it and just be nice and try and teach people, everyone will feel better.
And it's putting out the information that you have. Like you can't control everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the weird thing, is that you always want everyone. Like, why aren't you doing this? But all you can do is do what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you should also recognize when someone has done something. Like, say they are messing up and then they're recovered and they're doing stuff right. Now you'd be like, oh, cool, yeah, keep doing what you're doing, or play it safe like you are. Like, it's all, you got to be even with the negative and the positive.
Yeah, I think that's good advice too. If you find that someone is sucking and then they kind of get it together, say you're doing a good job, and that really reinforces that person and will, bolster them and give them more confidence to keep doing a good job and actually wanting to help the team, I feel like. So that's good advice. Okay, so hopefully you'll have a little bit more fun in your games now, Matt.
Don't lose heart. Just keep it up.
Indeed. Okay, Chris asks, this is a fun question. In a perfect world where there was only one MOBA, what elements would you take from League, Dota, or any other MOBA, and what elements of those games would you be sure to leave out?
Oh, man. League and Dota combined. I don't play enough. I've played a little Dota, but I feel like League is a little faster paced than Dota. If we could keep that pace and do like some of the Dota tools, like, the high ground, low ground, like the vision games, that would be fantastic. But I just don't know enough about Dota to see.
So some of the things that I would want, I like those ideas. I would also want the surrender from League of Legends.
Yeah, surrender's
that's not in Dota?
There's no surrender.
You have to play the other match.
I hate that so much that there's no surrender. I could go on for the rest of the podcast why I hate it, but I guess I understand why, but so that's one thing.
The counter is that you have the bet. I've never had as high in League as I've had in Dota when you come back from a match.
Oh yeah.
And like you're 70 minutes in, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, all of our Raxes are down, mega creeps, and then you win a team fight and you just rush down mid lane. And you base race them or something. Yeah. There's nothing as good as that.
We could have played
low too, probably
4 League games in that time, though.
Oh God.
And then another thing that I really like that League has are the free wards. The trinket wards.
God, yeah, warding is so much fun in League.
Yeah, it's just more fun. I think that would be a cool thing to have in the mega game that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay, what other things?
We talked about earlier, movement. I think having different movement styles and everything. The characters that I really enjoy in Dota are people like Huskar and Slark, who have the jump and the pounce.
Yeah.
Or even Luna, because it enables you to like do fun things. Like Blink Dagger is super fun because you can do weird things where you can blink in the trees. That's the other thing I was gonna say, is destructible environments. Like having trees as vision. That's really cool. Like I like the bushes because bushes, like, it's very simplified in terms of like you have no vision in here and you know that.
Yeah.
Whereas in Dota, you can just hide behind, like if there are 2 trees, you can hide in the middle of those trees and no one can see you.
Yeah.
I think that's really fun
cool.
thing, and like very highly strategic.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that sort of stuff. I was watching the TI4 and I saw a character that I was like, when I play Dota, I'm gonna try him out. Puck.
Yes.
Yep.
Puck, I guess is his name.
You did it!
Yay! I'm learning. He did the. He has. I think it's him that has a move where he can like bring a ring of trees up around someone. Is that him?
Oh, that's Nature's Prophet.
Oh, well,
Puck is at least you remember the name.
Yeah. That was really cool because I like moves that have that where it's like it brings an obstacle, like you meant, like environmental changes or destructive environments. Like that stuff is just amazing. Who else has it? Anivia in League of Legends has the wall. The wall is really cool. Yasuo has his wall. Just stuff like that is really cool. I think I saw it a lot more in Dota too, that sort of stuff. If we could bring more of that to the mega game, that would be amazing.
Mega game. I like the mega game. It should be called Buddy.
Buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was our nickname for instead of lords, it was you're controlling your buddy.
Okay, we could go on for this one forever. That was a fun question. Thanks, Chris. Okay, Ethan's up next. He says, I am new to the online community of MOBAs, and I love Dota 2 and League of Legends in particular. I'm curious as to why people just choose one of them. Can you not play both and enjoy both equally? I have not been playing long, and I'm still learning the ropes in both, but the communities both seem to not mesh well together. I do not want to be forced to pick one MOBA. Okay, so I'm going to field this one first because I feel really strongly about this question. I know why some Dota people don't like League and I get it, I guess. But for me, I love both games. Yeah. And the thing for me is that I think that it's tough to learn more than one because there are so many characters in each one. I mean, they both have over 100 characters. They both have over 100 items to learn. They both have a new map to learn. So it's just time consuming, I feel like, to learn both of them. And then once you kind of pick one, it's like, okay, now I'm going to sort of open this, I don't know, sort of open the door or whatever and just learn about everything I can for this one and try to get really good at it because it takes so long. Yeah. That's why I feel like most people just go for one. Yeah. I can appreciate the finer aspects of both games, and I think that there's a lot to love in each of them, and I can respect both of them equally. And I think also that there's room for both of them in the market, and I think competition is a good thing. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. But what about you guys?
So I looked up my time played. They don't have it in the client, but I looked at my time played on like a third-party thing in League.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how long I'd played it.
I'd like to see that for me, too.
Yeah. I'll send you the link, but... So what I found out is I didn't know how long I'd been playing it, and I played League first before I played Dota. Yeah. I know I've talked about Dota a lot recently, but I played, I think it was 17 days.
Oh my gosh.
of League. I
regret nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like I'm glad I learned
Yours
that.
is gonna be like 700.
I'm always on there.
Yeah, but it's so good to be like, because I liked the way that I did it in terms of I learned one game, and like. And I was able to go dive deep and get into the community and everything. And then I stepped back and I went into Dota because a bunch of my friends were playing it. And then like I'm 130 hours into Dota at this point. But like that enables you to, learning one at a time I think is actually better because you're like skills translate. But sometimes like when you get in there you're like, why didn't I turn around? Why didn't my skill go off? And then you, like, that visual language and the actual like mechanical language.
Mixing tool sets, basically. It's just
it's hard, and I just think you will learn slower. Yeah. If you, but I don't disagree. You should learn both because they're both really really good.
I always have I need one game. Like if I've been playing League for a bit and then go to play a game of Dota, I need like one practice game of Dota before. Yeah, like a warm up game to sort of get the mouse movement back together and be like, okay, like this is where I need to click on the mini map and stuff because they're similar. Like I've moved my mini map in League now to be the same side as Dota, so I don't have to like get it as my muscle memory is like able to stick in one section of the screen. But that's definitely, it's hard. It can be tough. What about you?
I think it's based on what you learn on first. Like for me, I mentioned on the previous podcast, I was doing WoW arenas and I got super duper burnt out. Yeah. And really frustrated. My friend was like, hey, you should go try in League. And I learned on League and I started on League and it just became, when I tried to make the transition to Dota, it just didn't feel natural. It's like I don't know. Like,
the map is on the wrong side.
Yeah, everything. Just like it's like.
And there's a fix for that, by the way. You can swap it over to the other side.
Really?
Yes. Oh, it changed the way I played Dota, by the way. Like, it's like I recommend that. So, but go on.
I'm that's what I had to do for League. It was the same thing.
I just think it's what you learn on. And the whole fact like, oh, the player bases don't mesh well together. That's like kind of like just a rivalry, like Coke versus Pepsi, or like like whatever your preferred brand of whatever the thing is.
And I think both fan bases are actually jealous of what the other people have, and like there's definitely like whenever you see people talking about in like the Dota subreddit about League, they're like, oh, we really like this, but we also have this.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's like a jealousy on certain things, but it's also like everyone just kind of likes both. Yeah, they're just glad to be there.
I hope so. I mean, I feel like there's a little bit too much hate at one another.
It's just the internet
sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just the internet. The anonymity behind a keyboard. Everyone will say whatever they want.
Oh man. Okay. Well, thank you for the question, Ethan. Now we're gonna go up to Dustin. Dustin says, I am I'm Destin, currently a New Orleans cop with not much time to play new styles of games like MOBAs. Do you think that the current console lineup is ripe for a Dota or League? I know there is a kind of MOBA on consoles, but not a full-scale style. I imagine he's talking about Awesome Nuts. I can personally say that I would love to try Dota on PlayStation. Just wondering.
I think consoles should have a MOBA. However, I don't think it would be Dota or League. I think Smite would translate really well.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Really, really well. And I tried Smite out for like a couple hours the other day.
Explain what Smite is.
Oh, yeah. Smite is just, traditional MOBA rules, 3 lanes, except not from the isometric point of view, top down. It's from a third person point of view, and everything's a skill shot, even your auto attacks. Unless you're a melee, then it's just, you got to be around them. And I feel like that would translate really well to the console, the controller with the triggers and the shoulder buttons, and, having a skill shot, you could aim it with your right thumbstick while moving with your left. That would translate real well. I don't think a top-down like Dota and, League of Legends would do very well.
Yeah, there's the precision clicking. Yeah, it comes down to precision clicking and being able to micro for for certain units. You have to micro stuff and you have to box.
Yeah.
And then a move.
Yeah.
There's too many
item usage.
Yeah. There's too many inputs.
Yep.
You need that keyboard.
Yeah.
Mouse and keyboard. Totally. I think that's a great suggestion. There are more coming out that have been announced. I know Battleborn will have a MOBA mode on it, and that's a console game that's coming out. Arena of Fate, the Crytek MOBA that is isometric view, is coming to consoles, but we haven't seen it played on consoles yet. But that one is more of a traditional Dota, League of Legends type game, and that one they've said is coming to consoles, so we'll have to see.
We'll with all the trouble going on at Crytek right now, we'll see.
True. We'll see.
Yeah,
that's true.
That I'm not sure if it's a Gamescom or not. But yeah, you should keep an eye on it if it comes out. But hopefully, but yeah, who knows with that company right at this point.
I feel like it's a good question. It was a good question for the consoles.
Good question. Okay, Hunter's up next. My first MOBA was Awesome Nuts. I've been playing since March. After 100 hours and convincing 5 more friends to buy it, I cannot stop playing. I love Fates Forever on my iPad as well. Now, one of my friends and I who play together are ready for the high dive. My question is this. Even though I'm familiar with the concept around MOBAs, what's going to be my biggest learning curve in Dota 2? Or League of Legends, because they're pretty similar.
So I haven't played Fates Forever. I'm not sure exactly how it translates.
It's a light version of League of Legends.
Diet MOBA.
Little League.
Diet MOBA is actually, that's a great term.
Little League is what Mitch called it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it has general laning and last hitting, if it has those things, I think that's it's always character knowledge and timing knowledge.
Character knowledge, timing knowledge, positioning, even though that's probably still prevalent in the other MOBAs he mentioned. The community, that's a pretty big learning curve. Because
interface is actually a really funny thing.
Yes, true.
I had some people try out League who'd been only ever played Dota, and they're like, "How do I get into a game?" And I was like, "Oh, right,
yeah."
And setting up your camera and that type of thing, and setting up your hotkeys is really important. Setting up, and when you first play a game of Dota, your items are set to X, C, Z, Y, really weird hotkeys, and I would say
is that legacy keys?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they did that. So my tip or suggestion would be for your very first thing is to go in there and change your item hotkeys to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
And then it will be so much easier for you to use active items in Dota 2.
Yeah, and also change. There's some characters who have more than 4 abilities. Make sure that you change those over because they aren't initially assigned to anything.
You mean like a transform character or?
Someone like Shadow Fiend has different distances where he can trigger something, and so a couple of them trigger, but they aren't assigned to any keys. So you'd have to click on them in the interface. And so the first time I played Shadow Fiend, I was like, how do I do this? Mid game, I had to go and change it. So just understand that there are Dota specifically has a ton of keys that you probably should go make sure you understand where they are.
Learning key bindings in general will improve your gameplay experience and performance just in general. I know I keep going back to WoW. I've played so much WoW, but the moment I started key binding and learning key bindings and using it, my performance just exponentially got better.
Yeah. I know that's a big thing that a lot of competitive players say. We'll see them stream or whatever, and whenever they start a new game, the first thing they do is go and they look at the key bindings to see what's even available to them.
Yeah.
Because the key bindings will show off, like, you know, you can do this type of thing. And someone new to League maybe might not know that you can press B to go, you know, to teleport back to your base. If you are looking at the key bindings, you'll see B probably means like teleport or something. It's like, oh, I'm going to see what this does. So that might be one way to kind of help with the learning curve too.
Yeah, I didn't know about you could Q courier from using it's like F5 and F6.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, and I'd always been clicking in the interface, and then someone was like, "Why are you like clicking on here?" I was like, "No, just hit F5." I was like, "Oh, I think F5 is
more efficient.
Quick buy is actually what F5 is. I think.
Well,
it depends.
It depends.
Yeah, but looking at key bindings and changing over, like if you have a mouse that's like for League, on my thumb I have a mouse button, and you can if you put your pings on there, that's awesome.
I haven't done that. Is a great idea.
Yeah, because it's like I use that all the time. So like rather than having to think about moving my hand over to G, which sometimes you hit F or D to trigger your
and then there goes your flash.
If you put it on here, it's purely like it's part of your movement. So it's like I'm moving, I'm gonna ping.
I put dance on those hotkeys.
That's funny. That's pretty good.
I have a mouse. I have a Razer Death Adder, and I have the same little thumb button, and I use that all the time in my other MMOs and games, and I never thought to do that for League.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's seeing what you have and then going from there. Like there's tons of different ways to like set up macros or do something.
And you'll see how, you know, your skills and play style translates into Dota or League or however you're doing, and I feel like you'll be able to pick them up. But starting with those games, I feel like is smart if you want to sort of take the high dive or the deep dive or what have you into the big two.
Awesome Knots is really fun if you haven't played it.
I've never played it.
2D.
Yeah.
It's just like side scrollers.
It's a side scroller MOBA on consoles and PC. Okay, next up is William, and then we only have one more. William says, I don't play MOBAs, but I love watching them in esports. I'm going to reread that because I hated how I said that. I don't play MOBAs, but I love watching them in esports. My question is, why do you guys think MOBA players are so rude and mean compared to players in other games?
I got a lot to say on this.
I've tried playing MOBAs, but people seem to do nothing but tell me how bad I am regardless of what I do, and no one seems to understand that I'm just trying to learn. I would love to play, but it seems the frustration isn't worth it, and it's like this on any MOBA I try.
So, I think you and I have spoken about this. We've talked about this before. My inclination to why MOBA players are like this is twofold. A, the time invested in every game you're playing is for like short games is 20 minutes, which is still a lot of time, and 45. Like not everyone has a lot of time to play. But primarily, I think
your mic.
Sorry. Primarily, I think it's got a lot to do with the readiness and availability of watching these pro streamers, these pro players, and you can see them straight from their interface. So everyone just spends so much time learning and watching these guys that play at just such a high level of expertise. And they think that's how they perform. They think that's how everyone else should perform. They think that no one has a bad game. They think that no one's learning. So then they just get vicious because they feel that it's because someone they watch plays like that consistently every day on a day-to-day basis for hours, that everyone they play with should play the same way. And it's not true. That's not how it goes.
In addition to that, they feel like I feel like they feel like because they're watching these pros, they think they're really good too.
Yes.
And sometimes that might not be the case.
Not
Just
true.
because you're watching someone doesn't mean that you're as good as the person that you're watching.
Yeah.
So, you know, you'll see someone do some crazy thing in a game and assume that your teammates will be able to do it like you're saying, or just assume that you're really good yourself, and that's not the case.
Ranking systems too, I think, is also because then they've got this little shiny badge they can say like, oh, well, you're bronze 3 and I'm silver 4, so that means I am definitely better than you because I'm silver 4. Where it doesn't matter. No matter what your ranking is, someone's gonna be like, oh, you're #1 challenger North America. Oh, that's like bronze 5 Korea. It doesn't matter what rank you are. You're never gonna impress people, and people are always gonna think they're better than you.
And I think addressing the point of the question of versus other games, I don't think it's that other people are less mean. It's just you're stuck with people for longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like they have a longer amount of time to say like worse things to you, and you're stuck. Like,
and it's text.
If you don't want to abandon the game, you're gonna
sit there and take it.
Yeah, you have to sit there and take it, and that's why it sucks.
Yeah.
It's not. There are definitely people who play Call of Duty who say awful things, but you can lead that game.
Yeah.
And like the penalty's not the penalty's not high.
mute is your best friend.
Yep.
That mute feature.
Yeah.
I've muted so many people. Also, a good thing you can do is just be nice back to them. Be like, yeah, sorry, having a really bad game. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you yelling at me is not going to help. I'm going to do my best. And then just mute them and just leave it at that.
Also report.
Yeah, reporting.
Reporting is great, especially in Dota when they tell you, "Oh, hey, we've taken action against that
Yeah.
person."
It's so satisfying.
It's like you'll know that if if you get reported, then obviously you're gonna have a bad time. But
But don't get reported. Be nice.
Yeah.
But if you report someone, then you know that okay, that this is taking action. There is a bettering towards the community. Like
Yeah.
people are mean.
I love this question. I have a big issue with this sort of thing. Like, I'm pro. I'm really good because I watch Phantom Lord for 5 hours a day, and he's really good. So you should be really good because I'm really good. And that's not how it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And there are community sites out there that will put you together with other players who are, hey, we want to learn, or like there's chat channels in games that you can join that are just like learn to league or like whatever the chat channels are called. You can find them out there. Those people are just learning and just jump in there with them. Hopefully they're not crappy people, but like learn together with people that or have someone teach you.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are people out there, even if you don't, have friends, like you're saying, that you can
find
join
nice
in with
people.
them. Yeah. There are 27 million people playing League of Legends per day. I'm sure you can find someone out there.
Just be nice out there, and then
Yeah.
I've gotten added so many times just because I was like, someone's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm feeding, and I go, it's cool. Everyone has a bad game, and I'll get added, and then I'll play games with them.
If you want to play with IGN community people, maybe in the comments of this video, like put your summoner name down and play with those people. Like those people, like I'm assuming are pretty awesome. So like get together with them.
Yeah.
Like they will
I'll
probably
play a
be
game
awesome.
with anyone. Yeah, I play too much League, and I spend way too much money on skins. I love it.
Okay, our final question is from Chad. And Chad asks, do you have any recommendations for someone with limited time to play on how to get into groups and teams of decent players? So I see we've kind of answered this a lot throughout this Q&A session. But he says, is there a particular MOBA you'd recommend for someone new to MOBAs and have a limited amount of time? I prefer console, but I also have a gaming rig.
This might actually, like, League is pretty good, but League also has the investment of, like, the rune system and, like, getting to 30.
Yeah.
I honestly think, like, the time I spent with Smite was, like, learning. It has the core mechanics of any MOBA.
Their learning system, their introduction system is great.
Yep.
It has a bunch of, like, short mode. Like, the arena mode is really good where it's just, like, yo.
Jousting.
Yeah, you get to brawl.
Yeah.
It's just, like, yo, jump into arena and you just fight each other.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
It's a great that I agree. Smite, if you do have a gaming rig, Smite is a good game to play. Like, I'm a huge League fanboy, but Smite is worth the time. The only reason I don't play it more is because it doesn't run well enough on my computer for me to play it.
I like Smite. I actually reviewed Smite for IGN. I think it's a really fun game. I think that's a good suggestion. It's fun to get into. The characters that you play as in Smite are gods, so
cool.
they have a lot of, the abilities that you would assume that, if you're playing Zeus, he's going to have lightning attacks
Thor.
and stuff. Exactly. So that's how it works. I think that one's fun. Like you were saying, it has a ton of different modes that you can try. It's not just the one lane map. You can surrender in Smite, so you can have 20-minute matches, that type of stuff. They're fast-paced games. You can play 3v3.
Jousting is one-on-one.
Jousting's one-on-one. They have like an all-random, all-middle map. There's tons of different ways to play it. Another one that if you only have a limited amount of time, Awesome Knots is on consoles. If you really want to stick to consoles, that's a great console MOBA. That the games are pretty short. It's easy to learn. There aren't that many characters in Awesome Knots, but it's really fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure about we talked about the Lord of the Rings one. I don't know if that one has a player base or support at current.
I'm not sure.
I think I downloaded it and played like 3 games and lost interest.
I couldn't recommend it at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend
Wouldn't safely recommend it.
Yeah.
ARAMs in League are also a really great way just to learn and have, like, that's what I play to relax.
I love ARAM.
Team fight mode. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, ARAM is, again, all random, all mid, so everyone on the team gets a random champion, and then you just are on one lane, and you're just duking it out for about, and they're pretty fast matches, like 20, 25 minutes per ARAM, I would say.
And you
usually,
never really get that feeling like when you're fighting a fed team, because the only way you can buy more items, even if you're doing really well, is if you die. So it's pretty cool, and you can only heal by picking up the little...
healing packs.
Healing packs, whatever
Boost.
you call it.
Healing boost.
relics. I think the official term is relics.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know about that map is it has poros, and I love poros.
Oh god, the poro explosion is, I think, is one of my, like, when people discover that, and then you can chase them back to the well.
That's awesome.
And if they get in the well, the laser will shoot out and it burns them, and then they sprint off in the other direction.
Awesome.
Oh
It's so good.
Poros are so cool. I like Braum, his Dragon Slayer skin. He's got the little
Mustache
the little poro that will like run on the shield when he does his stuff. Ah, so cool.
Aww.
I spend too much money on skins.
I don't know how quick, but Dawngate.
Oh yeah.
Dawngate. We saw Dawngate last week.
Yes, indeed.
I don't. Those were. We played about a 40-minute match, or you played a 40-minute match.
Yeah, that wasn't one that I would say for limited.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a game with limited amount of time, we didn't really talk about Dawngate that much this week, but Dawngate, that game is fun.
I have zero exposure to Dawngate.
Yeah.
I've seen the name and that's about it.
I would say not for Chad, who has a limited amount of time, but if you're looking for a new MOBA to try at least, you definitely should give Dawngate a look. It's EA's new MOBA. It's developed by Waystone Games, and it's more of a traditional type game like League or Dota, more so than like Smite or Awesome Knots or something like that.
There's some awesome ex-LCS players on staff, Mega Zero, Nick Wu, a couple other people as well, who are super awesome. They were like, we were chatting with them as we were playing, or you were playing. Awesome guys.
That was fun. We're going to have our Dawngate video preview up on IGN Arena soon at youtube.com/IGN Arena, so you can check that out. It will be a full gameplay video, so if you want to learn more about Dawngate, you can check that out. And I think that will do it for this week's show.
Yeah, it's forever.
All right.
Fates forever. Friends forever.
Yeah, friends forever.
Yay.
And we'll still you talking about Dota and everything on the side. Again, Arena's not done.
Yes.
We'll still go strong.
Yes.
That Mitch and I and
Brian
and I may podcast in Germany, maybe. That may go up when we get back.
Yeah.
It is if we see anything there that we want to talk about. We'll see.
There'll be LCS playoffs.
Yes. If I could sneak away from our live stream, I may go check out for that for like a couple minutes.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, IGN Arena fans, for everything. Again, thank you for sending us in your questions. Thank you for subscribing to us at youtube.com/IGN Arena. We recently hit 10 or 11,000 subscribers, so that is amazing.
Awesome.
I'm so proud of IGN Arena. It has been sort of my baby since I've been here, and I'm going to be sad to leave it, but I'm leaving it in good hands. So,
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.